ni msanda kutoa ngoma, ilikuwa ni kiki. I was so shocked. I know Pose, I know, but ni watu wote nimewaona hivyo wakiwa watoto, so nawajua vizuri sana. I think nimekuwa na Pose kama 3 or 4 weeks ago. We had a very in-depth analysis on so many things that is in kwa life yake, na there are things ni kama alikuwa anajua zinaweza kuja ku happen, because after our conversation understand, he knows there are things which zinaweza happen. So when he was arrested, which nowadays is really hard, was he really arrested?
Yeah.
Guardian is a top artist. That one we can't dispute. No one can dispute that. Guardian is he knows what he's doing. He's in his element, because you see, at the end of the day, in any situation, whether you like it or not, kuna mtu mwenye, when opportunity arises, you know what you're doing, you become in your element, and the moment you're in your element, of course, you'll be a leader in that field. So Guardian is, as I speak right now, and it's not only Guardian alone. There are people who, Moji is doing a lot of work, man. Moji is doing a lot, as in, there's Timeless, there's Jabidi, they're working. It's only that people work in different fields and appeal to different crowds, but we can't take that away from Guardian. He's right now, he's at the top of his game. And coming back to your other question, for me, I've been here for 20 years, bro. Kama ni muziki nimefanya, yani unajua, you see, nimeshafika ile point, kama ni kuprove say if I want to win awards nilishashinda, kama ni kutoa album nilitoa, kama ni kufanya shows nilifanya, kama ni kupiga show big crowds nilifanya, kama ni kupiga show majuu. Kwanza right now very few Kenyan artists wanapiga show majuu. Sisi enzetu tuko tunapiga show majuu like ilikuwa unaishi kwa ndege. Unajua ile hali ya anga wewe unaijua. Tulikuwa tunashinda kwa ndege, because we used to do so many. The difference is those days hakukuwa na social media to showcase what we used to do. But sisi, by the time ulikuwa you have big songs here in Kenya, ulikuwa umedominate market ya Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia. So tulikuwa tunashinda tukitravel na shows za UK huko, tulifanya show sana. And that's the only thing I will urge the artists right now. They need to change on how they approach stuff, because unfortunately, if you're not careful, the same way the Bible says, a prophet is never respected at home. So for a while itafika mahali watafeel si ati wamechoka na wewe, but utakuwa umesha exhaust the favor. So you need to start planning for the next phase. So for me, I did all that, and musema mziki ni kama wife ama kama dame. That's the difference about any other career. Music, it needs attention. If you don't give it attention, it will never give you any result. So if you're not concentrating on music and doing music, like una kama sai Guardian, 90% of his photos anakuanga wapi? Ako studio. You understand? So muziki kwa hivyo inataka attention, ni kama dem. Unajua dem pia usimpea attention kidogo kutoka. So that's the same thing. So if you don't give attention to music, definitely it will not give you any result. So for me right now, watu wengi hawajaijua, I have a fully fledged office. I wake up in the morning, go to the office 9 to 5 each and every day. There are few days I dedicate kama saa hii. Mimi on a normal days, nizile pictures I don't post, but normal days I wear suits every day, ningia kwa office asubuhi na mapema. So you see, in my office I do so many things to a level whereby by the time I go to the studio, unapata ni kama it's just more of that, a substitute thing that I'm doing. But it doesn't mean that I've stopped doing music. It doesn't mean that I've stopped praising the Lord. It doesn't mean that I don't do anything towards my ministry. I still try to preach online, and I still, what I'm doing, unaona kama sasa ya Malika, it takes a lot of your time. Malika, because I have to go to look for these children. Each and every year, we support more than 300 kids, bro, to get surgery, to get prosthetic limbs, and to make sure we transform their lives. I hope I've answered your question. Yes. Yeah.
It bring a lot of stories watu wanataka kujua exactly mbona ukisema enzi yenyu, ambapo sasa hivi ni kwamba wewe kiindustry kama hapa kwenye gospel kwamba sasa hivi wewe umepata kuipea nafasi kidogo, itulie kwanza ndio uhakikisha kwamba Malika Disability Foundation pia inapata kupewa nafasi.
When I say enzi, zile enzi zetu inamaanisha it's so obvious. Zile enzi ulikuwa unajonga tulikuwa tunatoa top charting songs each and every moment. You understand? There's a difference between when natoa ngoma moja just for, you understand? Kuna zile ngoma mimi natoa tu na ikatu online, and then but kuna zile siku ulikuwa unatoanga songs, so you are so sure this song is itaenda kushake the whole East and Central Africa. unapata mimi nilikuwa napiga show paka Togo manze, niko Togo, niko Burkina Faso, Tobina nilipeleka weird countries zenye hata watu waongee Kizungu, unaongea wanafikiri najua Kifrench, kumbe ni Kifrench niliandikiwa, you get. So all those things we are referring to those days nilikuwa tunafanya vitu kama hizo. Saa hii I rarely even do shows. I rarely even perform. Once in a while ndo nipata kwa stage na perform. I appreciate because I still get the same love. Nimekuwa juzi tumekuwa cheza gospel Dandora. The reception was amazing. So I still get the same love. I appreciate. But kuna wakati tuko tunafanya in 1 week you end up, nishapeana hiyo story, in 1 week tuko tunafanya show kama 7. In 1 week tuko tunameka kama 3 million. In 1 week. And you make na unaenda home na uko sawa.
So currently there is a hashtag ya inasemekana kwamba bring Naibo tunataka Naibo
nimeona.
Fika wakati wako ambao pia watu watahisi kwamba hashtag itakuwa ina trend, wanasema kwamba
but mimi just see the difference naona sipotea kwa scene. Onyo Naibo alipotea kabisa. Me as much as naweza kuwa napotea, naweza potea mostly unapata nimepotea maybe kwa kimziki, but kuna vitu vingine bado nafanya. You get it? And I really appreciate your question because kuna hizo moment and it's a good thing. Nataka mimi najua kuna wase wengi wako na talent that wanani tu mtu someone to believe in you and tell you hey we need you back. Na ukishapata call kama hiyo by the way, you always feel energized na kusema hey if these guys want me back, let me go back to the studio. So Naibo pale huko bro, kwanza ndakupigia simu leo nikuulize bro unatafutwa. Yeah.
Kwa sababu tunafahamu kwamba alikuwa ametangaza kuachia album na pia tour yake Australia. Tukiangalia sasa hivi wamekabiliwa na ile kesi ambayo ipo sasa hivi. Tuliona kauli yako yote kuhusiana na hiyo issue, tukizingatia kwamba jamaa amekuwa ni wa gospel kipindi hicho. Ameingia njia nyingine, lakini pia bado ni wewe.
Kabisa.
Pia unaweza kusaidia kwa upande gani kwa mchakato mzima ambao unaendelea?
But that's a very interesting question because nimekuwa nikiona online what was happening. I think nimekuwa na pose kama 3 or 4 weeks ago. We had a very in-depth analysis on so many things that is in kwa life yake. Na there are things ni kama alikuwa anajua zinaweza kuja ku happen because after our conversation in understand he knows there are things which zinaweza happen. So when he was arrested, which nowadays is really hard. Was he really arrested?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because unajua nowadays wacha niambie kitu moja. Mimi kitu naogopa kujiingiza kwa story mob. Kuna msee alikuja paka akaweka pay bill akasema ni mgonjwa and then tukaja discover ilikuwa ni kiki. I was so shocked. So siku hizi paka I think nimezeeka sana ama I don't know what happens because there are some people who do things but time unaanza kufollow up unapata ni msee anataka kutoa ngoma ama ni msee anataka tu kutrend ama so before you involve yourself you have to take time. So if you guys have confirmed that ilikuwa ni true then it's quite unfortunate. And alikuwa arrested because of what?
Cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah,
he released the song dissing Diana Bahati.
That's unfortunate, man. That's really, really unfortunate. Because nimesikia story mingi mara aligonga mtu, mara ikashindwa. So which is which? You get, yeah? So that is very unfortunate because I know pose, I know but ni watu wote nimewaona hivyo kwa watoto. So nawajua vizuri sana. And I will say it's quite unfortunate because tukishafika hapo I think tunafaa ku reach a point whereby watu wa industry there are things maybe you can just sit down and iron them out. But pia you never know mtu amefika to what level ndio because unajua pia kwa hii world unaweza pata kuna mse maybe mtu amenikosea najaribu kuongea naye aski. You understand? So you don't know what next you can do. It's quite unfortunate for both of them. I don't know the real story. So I'll not go in depth ku dissect the whole story. Na Julia hapa. But I always believe Willy Paul is one of the most talented Kenyan artists we have. So when I see some things happening, mi usikia uchungu because nakumbuka the raw Willy Paul, the raw one, the one before kwa superstar, the way the guy alikuwa na bidii, the way the guy alikuwa anaandika songs, alikuwa anaandika vitu nashindwa mtoi ni mnoma. And apart from that he's a holistic artist. You know there are very few artists who can dance, choreograph, sing, perform, have an image, You understand? All those things in one artist is really hard. He has posture. You know, Willy Paul ni ule hata kingia hapa unajua ule pose amefika. You know, there's some artists hata kingia hapa anatembea unashinda huyu ni msanii ama, but pose yako nayo, yani akona presence. And you see, for you to become a 360 artist, you need to have all those things. So kuna kitu mmoja na feeling that's just one element that is missing in him, and I hope one time that he'll fix it. Yeah. 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 You know, music is very interesting, eh? Sometimes muziki ikwangi the most talented no upenya. Sometimes inakuanga, because when nimesema Willy Paul is the most talented artist, me one of the most talented artists, you know, in this country. And mtu mwingine akitaka kunipinga niambie ni mgani mwingine anasema Pose is one of those guys mimi najua. He'll perform, he'll sing, he'll dance. Akona presence. Unajua vitu zenye ni ngumu sana upate in one person. Baha has one thing we call business acumen. Unaelewa? But you know, in life you have to overcompensate in something. If you're missing something, there's a way you need to compensate with something else. Unaweza kuwa hauna kama mimi sahi hapa. I remember the enzi zetu watu walikuwa wananicompare na Jimmy Gate. But Jimmy Gate has vocal prowess that means he hit. I can't sing like Jimmy Gate to that level. So watu walikuwa wanacompare na shindwa, mimi Jimmy Gate anaweza cheza piano, acheze guitar, anaimbe. Me naweza cheza tu vuvuzela bro. Sasa if you compare me with Jimmy Gate at that time ilikuwa inanishangaza sana, because I knew that I don't have the same vocal prowess, but I can overcompensate by the virtue that I lack something in that end and do something else. So mimi naye nilikuwa na the same thing. I had the business acumen. I knew how to talk to corporates, I knew how to approach corporates, and I knew how to advance my skills that you can't depend only on the industry, but you can extend it to the corporate world and even to the government. That's why ukiangalia vizuri vitu zangu zinakuanga more, I deal more with corporate and government in so many of the things that I do.
So just to finish up, maybe what word of advice would you give Willy Paul following his controversies that have been following him? And other than that, maybe apart from Malika project, what other projects are you working on?
For Pose, I think as a brother, you know, musema before uanze kuongea kwa kamera juu ya watu na hujaongea na yeye, you're not being a good brother. Pose, I've sat down with him. He can come and attest. I was doing a project at his studio. We had a conversation, a very long conversation, me, him, and Teddy B. And I spoke to him. Ile unajua unaongea na mtu one on one, heart to heart, you know, the reality of life. I spoke to him, and it was very candid conversation. And even after I watched video atajua what I mean. I spoke to him and I gave him advice. Yani ile unajua ile advice, the things that you've gone through and you've seen and you think you can give your younger brother. I talked to him as a younger brother, and we had a very candid conversation. And then moving forward, as you speak right now, coming to your second question, Malika Disability is a very big entity. So every year we are doing like 4 events. So we're having Malika Disability Walk Nairobi. Then in the next like 2 months, we'll have one in Eldoret. And then after that, in August, we're going to do what we call Malika Disability Forum at the KICC, whereby we'll call all the government entities and anyone who is in because the theme this year will be about road safety. We'll call about the people in the transport sector. We see how we can mediate, because sasa tuna story mingi za disabilities na happen through watu wanapata accidents on the roads. And you see, you can only mediate from the source. So the source inamaanisha most of the time ni road accidents zinafanya, road carnage ndio zinafanya so many mature people ukimit nao sasa kwa wheelchair wanakuambia I became disabled through a road accident. So we need to mediate and see what is the reason why and how can we make sure that we reduce such cases. And then in December we normally do a very big event called Malika Tribute Awards. Now this one inakuanga ni dinner whereby wasa wanakujanga hapo wamejipodoa, so tunapeananga our awards to person who are living with disability when wanafanya different things despite their challenges. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Owen, for your time, and we wish you all the best.
Asanteni sana. I just want to say thank you once more, and I invite you guys officially at the Malika Disability Walk. Come, there'll be a surprise. So mnapenda news? Mnapenda news. Kujeni mnapenda news sasa. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you too.
Karibu tuanguke tafadhali, chukeni mic.